square prism, base 40 mm side and height 65 mm, has its axis inclined at 45 degrees to the horizontal plane and has an edge of its base on the HP, that is horizontal plane, and inclined at 30 degrees to the vertical plane, right? So there is a square prism. It has a square base and a square top. Both of them are congruent to each other. Square base is going to have four sides, right? Each side is equivalent to 40 mm, whereas the height, okay, I'll explain it to you with this. The height of this prism is equal to 65 millimeters, whereas these four sides, all of them are 40 mm each at the top also, right? So this can be considered to be not an exact replica of a square prism, but we can actually manage solving the problem with the help of this duster, right? Fine. Let us go ahead and a few more data which are extremely important. The axis of the square prism is actually making an angle of 45 degree with the horizontal plane, right? So we have written theta axis is equal to 45 degrees. Secondly, one more thing which has to reflect in your drawing is one edge of the base on HP. Now, the inclination has to be made in such a way that one edge always remains in absolute contact with the HP, or you can also say one edge of the square prism remains grounded. See, third point is the edge which is actually grounded also makes an angle of 30 degree with the vertical plane. So phi edge has been given as 30 degree. Okay, apart from remaining grounded, the edge also makes a certain angle with the vertical plane, which has been denoted by phi edge, which is equal to 30 degrees. So let us get started. Now, if you have seen my previous lectures, then you would know the initial position, how to place a solid initially when the axis is inclined to HP or when the axis is inclined to BP. In this case, what we have been told is that the axis will start from the center of this top till the end of this base. Okay, this is the axis. Axis is actually inclined to the horizontal plane. Either you can incline it this way or this way. Okay, so whenever the axis is inclined to HP, what you are supposed to do is you are supposed to do this. Put that solid resting with its base on the horizontal plane. Okay, then there is a question you have to ask to yourself, and that question is, from which view you can view the true shape of the base. As far as this particular position is concerned, the true shape of the base is evident from the top. This base, I'm talking about this base. The true shape of the base is evident from the top view. Hence, what we'll do is we'll draw the top view first. And as far as the dimensions of the bases are concerned, these are the dimensions 40, 40, 40, 40. It's going to be looking like a square, right? Now, when you look at this object from the front, what you will see is this height. This height has been given as 65 millimeters, so we have drawn this. Okay, this is the rectangle which you're going to see, which is having a base of 40 mm, whereas the height of this rectangle is equal to 65 millimeters. Now, what we'll do right now is we're going to name all the points. If you see clearly, the top has four corners as well as the base has four corners again. So let us name the top four corners as A, B, C, D. Now their front view will be something like this: A dash, comma, B dash, and this will be C dash, comma, D dash. As far as the bottom 4 points are concerned, let us name them by 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, 1, starting from this point, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So these are the bottom 4 points. If you start viewing this from the front, you will see this 2 point first, point 2 dash, behind 2 is 1, so we'll write it as 1 dash, since it is a front view, dash is mandatory. Okay, when you we are looking at this from the front again, you will see point 3 dash and behind 3 is 4, hence its front view is going to be 4 dash. So that was all about the initial position. Okay, the axis was inclined like this, so what we did is we slammed it, okay, with its base resting on HP. We thought about the true shape of the base. We came to know that the true shape of the base will be evident from the top, hence we drew the top view first, and accordingly we have drawn the front view, right? So this was all about step number 1. Now let us get quickly started with step number 2. Well, as far as step 2 is concerned, you must be knowing that as far as step 2 is concerned, we always incline the axis. Okay, particularly when axis inclination has been given in the problem. Okay, as far as the axis inclination is concerned, it has been given as 45 degrees, right? So what we'll do right now, we're going to incline the axis by 45 degrees. And there is one more concept or one more logic. When if the axis is inclined at theta, then the base is automatically inclined at 90 minus theta, right? The concept is like this. If you see this object, this is step number 1. Now, when we'll do this, the axis will be inclined at an angle of 45 degree, but at the same time, this base over here is also going to make an angle of 90 minus 45, which in fact is 45 degrees. So let us do that quickly. We're going to transform this, make this again, but at a certain angle, which is equivalent to 45 degrees. Okay, let us do this quickly. This point over here, 1 dash comma 2 dash, 1 dash comma 2 dash. Acha, one more thing which I forgot to mention you guys is that there is a particular edge on the base. In the base, there is a particular edge, say this edge, which will make a certain angle, that is 30-degree angle with the vertical plane. Okay, so any edge or any side which finally makes a certain angle either with HP or VP has to be kept perpendicular to XY. This is something which you guys need to remember always whenever you are dealing with problems associated with either planes, projection of planes or projection of solids, right? Keep that edge or side perpendicular to XY, which is going to make a certain angle either with HP or VP in step number 3, right? Please remember. Fine, let's move ahead. So we're gonna incline this base over here. This is the base over here at an angle of 45 degree. Why? Because the axis has to be inclined at an angle of 45. Hence, base will make 90 minus 45, which in fact is equal to 45 degrees. Okay, let us do this quickly. Let me have a protractor and let us do this. 40, 45 approximately. This will do the job. Well, that's it. This is now inclined at an angle of 45 degrees. What we need to do next is, this is 1 dash 2 dash, 1 dash 2 dash. This point over here lies at a certain distance. This is approximately, not approximately, rather exactly equal to 40 mm. We're going to cut an arc. And now we have the position of 3 dash, comma 4 dash, right? Okay. At the same time, if you see this, these two lines are exactly at an angle of 90 degrees. So what you guys can do is put your drafter over here, tighten the screws up, then make two lines. Okay, these two lines again will be perpendicular to this line. That's what has been done here, right? So I don't have the luxury of a drafter, and hence I have to do this myself. Let me rub this slightly. We need to do this. Now, here we have a point in the name of 1 dash, comma 2 dash, this point, right? And the points above at the top are AB and CD. So let us first locate AB. That's AB and that's CD for you. Let us join them. Okay. Fine. Now here we have A dash, comma B dash. At the same time we have C dash, comma D dash. One more thing which can be done, you can make this axis also. It is located exactly the center. So let us make the axis. Well, that's it. That's the axis. And now we're going to look at this object from the top. Right now the object is in this position. This was step number 1. and this is step number 2. So as far as the top view is concerned, this particular face, or you can say this particular square, not exactly a square, this face will be evident and this face will be evident, right? Let's draw these lines first. That's it. That's it. Now let us draw the vertical lines first and then we will draw the horizontal lines from step number 1. This is for the axis actually, this one. Right? So that's it. And let us now draw the horizontal lines. Almost done. We're almost done. Right? Now let us make those edges by solid lines which are absolutely evident from the top, which you can see directly. Okay. One thing is absolutely clear, that there will be a face above, that is ABCD face. This particular face will be seen and this particular rectangular face will be seen. Okay. This point over here corresponds to A, this over here corresponds to C, this one is D, this one is C. And as far as the bottom portion is concerned, the 4 corners are 1, 2, 3, 4. Let us name them quickly. This one is for 1, this is for 2, this one is for 3, and that's 4. Okay, so we are basically concerned about the topmost portion which can be seen, and that is A, B, C, D. So let us darken it. Fine. Now this edge from D to 4 and the edge from C to 3, these edges will also be seen from D to 4 and edges from C to 3. Okay. And also this particular edge over here, 3 to 4, this will also be seen. So it has to be made up. Right? Now one thing which is left is axis. So now let us locate the axis also. You can do this. Okay. It's gonna end here. So let us make it. This is the front view of the axis. And this will be the top view of the axis. Starting from this point. So that's it. This is the axis. Okay. I'm actually rubbing these lines in order to make the picture look more clearer, right? That's it. Now, there is something missing. All the edges have been shown by solid lines which are evident from the top, but there is one such edge which cannot be seen from the top, okay, because it is hiding somewhere below this, and the name of that edge is 1, 2, okay. So it has to be given respect, and to give it respect, that it means we're going to draw it by broken lines. So 1 and 2 has been joined by broken lines because it cannot be seen from the top.
In this video, I am going to explain a pentagonal prism problem. A pentagonal prism is resting on a corner of its base on the ground with longer edge containing that corner inclined at 45 degrees to the HP. The vertical plane containing that edge and axis inclined 30 degrees to VP. Draw its projections, taking the base as 40 mm and height 65 mm. So here, before start drawing problem, we have to extract the axis inclination. Here longer edge inclination is given as 45 degrees. In the case of prisms, longer edges and axis both are parallel. That means longer edge inclination is given, means that is nothing but the axis inclination. So axis is 45 degrees to HP. So you have to keep the axis perpendicular to HP. So while you are keeping the axis perpendicular to HP, you will get the true shape and size of the base in the top view. While drawing the top view, you have to take care of this condition, that is, it's resting on its corner of the base on the ground. First draw the simple position. Now draw the simple position like this. So axis you are keeping perpendicular to HP. So you will get the true shape and size of the base in the top view. In the top view, you draw the pentagon taking this corner as the reference. That means if you start drawing from this side, don't draw the pentagon onto this side, draw the pentagon onto this side. Okay, that is one initial precaution. Side is 40 mm, A, B, C, D, E is the top base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the bottom base. Now project the front view. I am keeping the bottom base on the HP, that's why this 1 dash, 2 dash, 5 dash, 3 dash, 4 dash we are getting on the XY line. Next, this is the axis O dash, P dash. This axis length is 65. Now project the remaining longer edges. This is A dash. Here you will get C dash, D dash. Then here you will get B dash, E dash. So top view and from the top view, front view, both are obtained. This is the simple position. In the second stage, this longer edge, that is 1 dash, A dash, we have to keep it to 45 degrees. We have to tilt this to 45 degrees. In the second stage, we have to tilt this 1 dash and A dash to 45 degrees. So somewhere here randomly you mark 1 dash, draw a 45 degree line, take this length and mark A dash here. This 65 length you are marking here to get A dash. Then align your mini drafter to this and reconstruct this. Draw the perpendicular. Then this line you are drawing here. On this line you will get B dash, E dash, O dash and C dash, D dash like this. And complete the rectangle, this outer contour. Then this edge is C dash, D dash, this is 3 dash, 4 dash. Then take this distance, mark that here and draw the line. Here you will get B dash, E dash, 2 dash, 5 dash. Then take this distance, mark here, then you will get O dash and P dash. Now when you are seeing from the top like this, when you are seeing for the top view like this A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, this particular base is visible, this particular base is invisible. Okay, draw the projectors and locus lines and obtain A, here B, E, here C, this is D. Then this is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then A, B, C, D, E is visible. B2 is visible. Another thumb rule is this outer contour will be visible. And what are the invisible edges means? When you are seeing like this, for the top view in the front like this, completely invisible point is 1 dash. That means 1 dash, the edges connected to this 1 dash point will be invisible. That means 1 dash, 2 dash is invisible, 1 dash, 5 dash is invisible, 1 dash, A dash is invisible. Now observe, B2 is visible, 2, 3 visible, 3, 4 visible, 4, 5 visible, 5, 6 visible. This is the outer boundary is visible. C3 visible, D4 visible. These two are visible. Now lines connected to this 1, 1, 2, 1, 5 and 1A are invisible. Then project the axis O and P. So this is the top view.
A hexagonal pyramid base 25 mm side and axis 50 mm long has an edge of the base on the ground. Its axis is inclined at 30 degrees to the ground. Ground refers to a horizontal plane and parallel to the VP. Draw its projections. So alright, so let's write down all those things that have been given in the question. The object in this case is a hexagonal pyramid. Okay, the dimensions are in the form of base 25 mm side. Alright, so in its base it's going to have 6 sides equivalent to 25 millimeters, and the axis length has been given as 50 millimeters. So let me show you, all these 6 sides are going to be 25 millimeters each, and this hexagon is going to have a center over here, and from this center until we reach this apex, the height has been given to us as 50 millimeters. Now guys, there is this condition that has been given to us that has an edge of the base on the ground. Alright, so in your drawing you have to make sure that one edge of the base always remains in absolute contact with the horizontal plane. Alright, so this condition should reflect perfectly in our drawing. And the next thing is this inclination that the axis makes with the ground or the horizontal plane. So theta axis has been given to us as 30 degrees. Alright, whole lot of data have been given to us. So stay tuned guys, because in the next section I'm going to show you how this hexagonal pyramid has been really kept. Alright guys, now that we have read the question, this is the object under consideration. This is what we call a hexagonal pyramid, and having 6 base edges, alright, and with an apex at the top. Now all of them are 25 millimeters each, and this axis length, this one over here, has been given to us as 50 millimeters. Alright, now there are certain conditions that are to be followed. Number one condition is that the axis is making an angle of 30 degrees with the horizontal plane. So it's going to be something like this. Axis is starting from this point towards the center of this hexagon, somewhere here. And this axis over here makes a certain angle with the horizontal plane, something like this. Alright, now guys, try to remember this panda. If the axis say makes an angle theta, then this base over here makes an angle 90 minus theta. Alright, now whenever the axis is inclined to HP or VP, there is some assumption that we need to undertake. As far as this question is concerned, the axis is inclined to the horizontal plane. So your initial assumption is going to be this. You have to assume that the solid is resting with its base on HP. Okay. Now, then you have to ask a question to yourself as to from which view you can see the true shape of the base. Alright. And the answer is that the true shape of this base can only be seen from the top. And hence you have to start by making the top view first. Alright. But what sort of a top view are you going to make? Whether it's going to be this kind of a top view or it's going to be this kind of a top view with this edge perpendicular. Alright, now this is basically the confusion that students usually go through before solving problem based on projection of solids. Alright, and in order to completely eliminate this confusion, I'm going to give you a fun. Please watch this carefully. Now suppose I'm holding this hexagonal pyramid like this, alright, and when I try to incline the axis, what will happen? This corner will remain grounded. Please watch this carefully. Hold it like this. This corner will remain grounded. Alright. In the question it has been clearly asked to us that we need to keep an edge of the base grounded. Corner is not supposed to be grounded, rather an edge of the base is supposed to be grounded. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold this pyramid this way. Alright, this way. And when I try to do this, incline the axis, what will happen? This edge over here, you can clearly see this edge. Alright, this edge will still remain grounded. Alright, and hence you have to begin this way. This is going to be our top view, this is going to be our front view, and in step number 2 we need to do this. Okay, what we're going to do in step number 2 is we'll incline this base at an angle of 60 degrees, and eventually this axis will become inclined at 30 degrees angle, and then we're going to take its top view. Alright, all these so-called slant edges are going to be visible. So this was all about the orientation and positioning of the hexagonal pyramid with respect to horizontal as well as vertical plane. So guys, let's head over to drawing sheet. I'll head over to AutoCAD and explain you how all these things can be implemented. Let's get started. Alright guys, now that you have seen the orientation, the positioning of the object, so let us now begin by creating the top view initially, and then we're going to create its corresponding front view. Alright, so what we need to do initially is we need to draw a XY line, alright, below which we're going to create the top view, above which we'll have the front view. You already know that in first angle projection, the horizontal plane is below the XY line and the vertical plane is above the XY line. So you have seen the orientation, so let's start. So I've drawn this line over here, and this line you can clearly see this, it is absolutely perpendicular to this XY line. Okay, and this actually is the edge which is going to be grounded. Alright, now this edge is having a length of 25 millimeters. So, and a hexagon is having internal angles of 120 degrees. So what we need to do, you need to keep your protractor over here, and with this line as base, you need to take an angle of 120 degrees in the anti-clockwise sense and 120 degrees in the clockwise sense, and you're going to get this. Alright, then again you need to keep your protractors over here. Alright, again 120 degrees, same stuff, and then close it down. Now this guys over here is the true shape of the base of the hexagonal pyramid, which actually is a hexagon itself. Okay, so we're going to have the apex also, and for that follow this. Okay, so this is what you need to do. So this actually is the top view of the hexagonal pyramid with this point as the apex. Alright, so let's name each and every point. So we have this A, B, C, D, E, F, whereas the apex has been named by O. Now that the top view is done, we're going to make projector lines starting from F and E until they intersect somewhere along this XY line. Alright, and this point corresponds to B dash, A dash, B dash, this is C dash, F dash, this is D dash, E dash. Let's have them. Okay, now in the front view, you will see the height of the hexagonal pyramid, which in this case is 50 millimeters, something like this. And from this point, you need to go upstairs, all right, by an amount of 50 millimeters. That's exactly what is supposed to be done. Okay, and you're gonna see these three slant edges from BO, CO, and DO. You need to join them, something like this. Okay, D dash O dash, C dash O dash, and B dash O dash. Whereas the slant edges AO, FO, and EO will not be seen, and they're gonna be overlapped by these so-called solid lines. Okay, now this is the first step, and in the next step we need to incline the axis. Now guys, you need to visualize this. Think about this. Try to imagine this hexagonal pyramid, and you'll surely realize that behind this solid line there is an axis. Now if you keep this solid line at an angle of 30 degrees, say with XY line or with the horizontal plane, then eventually the axis will also get inclined at an angle of 30 degrees. Okay, let's say that the point is A dash and B dash. Okay, and through this point what we're going to do is we'll make 90 minus theta. So theta has been given to us as 30 degrees, so 90 minus theta is going to be 60 degrees. Now guys, remember this funda. If the axis say is inclined at an angle of theta, then its base is going to be inclined at an angle 90 minus theta. So axis inclined at 30 degrees, then obviously 90 minus 30 will give you 60 degrees. So you need to make sure that the base makes 60 degrees angle. Okay, something like this. Alright, let's take it away then. Okay, now you need to keep one leg of a compass here, other leg over here. Then with this as center, you need to put an arc. Okay, something like this, and same thing has to be worked out with this D dash E dash also. So let's have both of them. Alright, fine. Now as far as point O dash is concerned, what we need to do is keep one leg of your compass here, other leg over here. Then with this guy as center, you need to put an arc. Then same stuff has to be repeated with one leg over here, other leg over here. With this guy as center, you need to put one more arc. Alright, need to have something like this, and this is going to be your intersection point, guys, and this is what you call O dash. Fine, let's join O dash with this guy and this guy. Alright, so that's front view. What we've done basically is we have recreated the front view from step number 1 into step number 2, making sure that the axis makes 30 degree angle with this XY line. You see this? Alright, this eventually works out as 30 degrees, because we've kept the base at 60 degrees, and this obviously is going to work out as 30 degrees. That's what I said to you. Okay, a little bit of cheating is always possible and should be done. Okay, so in the next step we'll be looking at this object from the top, and we're gonna draw these so-called projector lines from the top view over here, and projector lines from this front view down below, and which looks something like this. Please watch this carefully. Alright, so this horizontal is for O and this vertical is for O, so this is going to be point O in the top view. Okay, similarly you can have all these points. This is going to be, this line corresponds to B and D. Okay, and B is going to lie here. Alright, and D is going to lie here. Similarly you can work out all the remaining points. Okay, but what I'm really interested in is these points. So these are the points, okay, I'm looking for. Now guys, please watch this. Alright, and it should work out something like this: A, B, C, D, E, F. Alright, now you need to figure out by yourself and through imagination as to which slant edges are going to be visible from the top. Now one thing is for sure, this slant edge O dash D dash and O dash E dash are going to be visible. Alright, and apart from that, slant edges O dash C dash, O dash F dash will also be visible. So we're going to draw them with the help of solid lines, and it should look something like this. Okay, now these are the three triangular faces rather, and behind these triangular faces there are some edges and some slant edges, some base edges and some slant edges. Alright, and they have to be given some respect, although they cannot be seen, right? Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to draw them with the help of hidden lines, broken lines, something like this. Okay, so this over here is the overall top view, and the conclusion is that one edge, you can see this one edge, this name of this edge is A dash B dash or AB simply, is grounded, and at the same time the axis is making an angle of 30 degrees with the horizontal plane. Alright, and this is the corresponding or the final top view.
A square pyramid 40 mm base sides and axis 60 mm long has a triangular base on the ground, and the axis makes an angle of 45 degrees to the VP. Draw its projection, take effects nearer to VP. They give a square pyramid, side of base 40, length of axis 60, one of triangular base on the ground. pyramid contains, square pyramid contains 4 triangular faces. Any one should be on the ground. Ground means origin plane. One triangular face on the origin plane. And the axis makes 45 degrees the vertical plane. Okay, when you are drawing the projections, this condition must be satisfied. First you take this condition as a triangle base on the ground. Ground means origin plane. In the origin plane, we will get the top view. First you draw the top view as a square. First you draw the XY line. Then you draw the top view. A square of side 40. First you draw one side of length 4 cm. Then you draw the one more side at an angle of 90 degrees. These two sides are perpendicular to each other and of length 4 cm. Similarly, you draw the remaining sides also. Like this, you draw the square of side 4 cm. Then you locate the then you name it as ABCD. Then you have to locate the center by drawing the diagonals BD AC. The intersection point of these diagonals is the center. Name it as O. Next you draw the projection of O. Next you draw the axis line. From this line you have to draw the axis line of length 60. And here as the name as O dash. Next you draw the projection from AB. And this is the A dash B dash. And projection of CD. This is C dash D dash. A dash means front view. A means top view. When the A dash is there, front view. A is there, top view. Next then the O dash A dash, O dash C dash. Next A to C also. Next we have to consider this one. One triangle base on the ground. One triangle base on the HP. We have to rotate this triangle, this line on the XY line. First to take O dash somewhere. This O dash I am taking here. Next you take the same length, same line here. What is the length here? You take the same line here. Then length of this line is equal to this one. And here is the C dash D dash. This O dash C dash is equal to this O dash C dash. Just I am drawing this one again here with the same dimensions. This triangle is equal to here also. Next we have to look at the A dash B dash. Now we take the O dash to A dash at the radius, O dash at the center. Draw an arc. We take O dash to A dash at the radius. This O dash at center. Draw arc. Similarly, we take A dash to C dash. This length as the radius. And this point as the center. Draw another arc. The intersection is the A dash B dash. Next is the A dash C dash. Next then the O dash A dash. Next we have draw this axis line. This axis line passing through the midpoint of this line. Here also. Look at the midpoint and join with the O dash. Like this. Next we have draw the top. For this one, first you draw the projection from C dash. From A dash. From O dash. And projection line with this top also. From AD, from BC, from O also up to here. Next you have to look at the intersection point of this one. This is the A line, this is the A dash line, this is the A. Similarly B dash line, B line, this is the B. And this is the C. And this is the D. Next is then the AB, O also, similarly O also. Next is the AB, BC, CD, DA. Next is then the O with the A. And O with the B. O with the C. O with the D. Like this. This is the top view.